Welcome, everybody. Jason and I are going to be talking about the new Rebellion and the Rim squadrons that have been spoiled. The rogues and villains now have alternative versions. There's Hondo Slave 1. During your activation, instead of attacking, you may toggle the activation slider on one squadron at distance 1 to the activated side. If it's already been activated, you can place it anywhere distance 1 of you. I guess that'll be interesting if there's a rebel bomber that's about to do like a killing shot. You can either deactivate it or move it out of the way. It actually is even one squadron at distance 1. You could even move one of your own squadrons.
I kind of see Hondo's always smuggler, freighter, guy for hire. I can see thematically the Empire hires him to remove one of their fighters that are in danger or crippled and it gets them out of harm's way. I could see that being
Yeah, because it's any distance 1 of you could theoretically move it.
Right. So if I need him to go in and my Hell Runner is tied down.
Or your IG-88.
Or IG-88 is tied down, yeah. Oh, that's a good point, because he could go in, move them 2 spaces away to where they're not going to be shot at.
Yeah. 24 points, though.
It might be worth it, especially if you pair him with IG-2000. The IG-2000 card I'm really excited for, because essentially it's like Han Solo and Outrider rolled into one, but it's even better, because at the beginning of the squadron phase, regardless if you are first player or not, you get to take pot shots at everyone you're engaged with.
Yes.
Which is freaking amazing. So activate him last at the end of the previous squadron phase. And then at the beginning of the next one, you shoot at everybody. And then whether or not you're first player doesn't really matter. He's got a scatter. He can survive the first 2 shots at him. Send in Hondo then slingshot him out of that bad situation.
Yeah.
And Hondo's got 2 braces, so...
Yeah, because you can't do that attack and move, so you're toggling the side.
Instead of attacking or moving, you're basically extricating IG-2000 out of a bad situation. And then he's got the health and the braces to weather attacks.
It's a 45-point combo, though.
Hey, that might be worth it, though. I'd experiment with it for an Imperial.
No. Yeah.
So if I'm running a fast and light Imperial list where I can't fit a ton of TIE fighters in my list, for 45 points, 2 rogues that can take on any number of fighters that are balled up together, that'd be great against a big swarm. You can move that damage around all you want. You're just going to delay the inevitable, and you keep repeating that.
The attacks are extracted by 2 blue and 2 black.
Move a blue. Yeah. It'd be 2 blacks and a blue. That's at least 2 damage every hit. A lot of splash damage.
So the YV666, do you recognize?
Yeah, so Morald Evol, he was in the Clone Wars. I didn't like him very much, but this is interesting that he's pilot. The ability is cool. Imperials have a little bit more play with objective tokens.
I mean, you guys already had that with the shuttles.
Yeah, to move it. Yeah. But the shuttle was kind of worthless. Well, now the
relay.
Now the shuttle's kind of worthless just because they nerfed relay and it's not as cool as it used to be.
Well, I mean, it was way overdone before.
I mean, I enjoyed it.
No, it was crazy because it's like, how would a shuttle all the way across the map? No, it was dumb.
So this is cool in that you can have a ship that can stand on its own. It's slower than a shuttle, but it can take a beating, and it can move tokens around, looks like.
2 blue and 2 black with rogue. 22 points, though.
He's like a slower Darth Vader, but he does not have escort, thank goodness. 2 blue against ships, too. It'd be interesting. I have not used Bosk very often because I thought the Houndstooth was kind of expensive for what it was. I mean, yeah, it's great against lots of fighters, but it's slow. The same thing with this. It's slow. So, I don't know. I'd have to play around with it.
So, Tel Vera, another Jumpmaster version. I don't know how... Like, it doesn't have intel, so it's the only Jumpmaster that doesn't have intel.
Oh, this guy?
Yeah.
Oh, the Tel...
So you have escort. After defending against an attack, if you discard a defense token, you may recover up to 3 hull, even if you would be destroyed.
So he has escort until he has no ready defense tokens. So that's kind of interesting in that he can attract shots to himself, scatter 1 or 2 attacks.
Yeah.
Brace another one, And then he doesn't have escort anymore. Then he can be ignored, or he's dead by that point. So
I mean, that's amazing that you essentially need to have like -4. He can keep on coming back to life, discarding a defense token.
that's true. Yeah, so he's definitely great as a distraction. I'm going to get more use out of him, I think, than I'm going to get out of...
He's essentially a super tie advance.
Yeah, but but with the advantage that he can turn escort off. I like that. I like that he can basically turn escort off by not having defense tokens ready.
Yeah. So the rebel side...
Kanan Jarrus?
Yeah. He's essentially a cheaper version of the Mandalorian fighter. Being able to raid... See how that works. It's 19 points.
He's a better deal than the Mandalorian fighters. The Mandalorian fighters are super expensive for the gimmick of, you now have raid tokens. I think he's going to see a lot more use on the Rebel side because he's only 19 points. So you can have him paired up with a big swarm and still have Jan. He has Cloak, which allows him to move one away or one closer to something after the squadron phase. He has Rogue, so he can attack on his own. You don't have to activate him. So you can use that against clearing another fighter or doing
only
your raid.
Speed 3, though.
That's fine. That's the hallmark for most of the Rebel fighters. They're almost all Speed 3.
I wonder how many people are now going to be looking for the Rogues and Villains pack in order to...
Oh, yeah. So I've already been telling new players, like, hey, Rogues and Villains are cheap right now. Buy one or two. Yeah. At least buy one. You need one for Rebellion of the Rim because it looks like it's only coming with one card per ship. Doesn't look like they're doing any generics.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so definitely get at least one pack in conjunction with Rebellion of the Rim so that you can use these new cards.
Melee Hura, the other Scourge. So 26 points, but you get to manipulate dice when a ship is attacking a ship that you are near. So she's essentially providing some relaying information so I mean that's good, but 26 points.
I was stumbling on the description at first because it was kind of hard to follow. So if anyone's familiar with Jonas is only 19 points or something? 17?
Yeah.
He's cheap. She's a much more expensive version of Jonas that gives you an automatic crit, but you can't be overwhelmed with fighters. That's the limitation. So she has to be within range 1 of an enemy ship, cannot be engaged with more than one fighter. If she's overwhelmed with fighters, she can't give her ability to a friendly ship. It's only giving you blue crit, and she's expensive, and there's the added limitation that she's worthless if she's overwhelmed with fighters.
Yeah.
And not to mention her anti-squadron ability is laughable. A red and a blue. Yeah. That's actually worse than the Mandalorian fighter. At least you have the decency of having 2 red and a blue. So.
Yeah, that is pretty bad. And that's so many points tied up to something that there's other ways to manipulate die more reliably than this.
She'd be great if you were going with if you were going with a couple of ace bombers instead of lots of rebel bombers, pair her up with Nim. With his spending tokens, having those two guys kind of wait in reserve until you've cleared the fighters out of the way, that'd be a nasty combo. You got Nim that spends a token, and then she does her attack, which also hurts. Oh, then, by the way, when you follow up with your actual attack, you've got her nearby to give you an extra crit.
Martin... Sato's hammer.
Yeah, the little spoiled brat in Rebels that was trying to take on the Empire by himself.
Yeah, well, so that's what happened too in the game that we practiced. It's he goes out and he dies, but so he can lay a proximity mine distance 1 from him. That's kind of interesting. A lot of proximity mines in this new Rebellion in the Rim expansion. He's 22 points. I didn't get to use them, but that's just because I sent him out on the.
You put him right in front of my Super Star Destroyer. I don't want proximity mines anywhere near that thing. So, of course, I'm going to send my horde of fighters against him. So he's definitely... I think how you used him was going to be really useful, though, because proximity mines in this new expansion are going to be area denial. You put them down in an area that you don't want your opponent to be, but now you have a ship that can dynamically add more proximity mines to the battlefield.
It would be an interesting way to do it if you had station assault and you set most of your fleet on one.
And then he goes and puts proximity mines around the other.
And if you didn't have one of your own ships there that would set it off.
Yeah.
You just like, look, you're going to get this off with these 4 proximity mines. I was even thinking about maybe I should set some of the proximity mines behind me because that way, especially with
where I'm going to be. Yeah. So I think he's going to be very effective. I think he's going to be a new darling for the Rebels. He's only 22 points, which is not bad considering the ability he gives.
6-hole rogue.
Yeah, all the YT 2400 cards have been amazing up to this point. I'm actually been very jealous of the Rebels of having that amazing ship.
Oh yeah, because you guys only had like the TIE Defender and stuff like that.
Hey, don't rag on my TIE Defender. I was very excited when the TIE Defender finally came out. And then Lando was spoiled fairly early on, but that's cool. For a YT 1300, that's a cool ability. While attacking, you may discard a defense token to gain 1 die of any face. That die cannot be modified again.
So they can't they can't undo that.
No, they can't. Right. So this is kind of cool in that, contrary to how Lando has functioned previously in this game, where it's like, oh, there's an attack pool. Reroll it all. Maybe it'll be better. Maybe it'll be worse. I don't know. I'm going to flick my cape and look cool. So, I mean, but now he gives you rather than a chancy kind of function, he's giving you a guaranteed, whatever face you want. He's got his wild card up his sleeve, is essentially what it is. So you need an accuracy for this roll, you've got it. Spend a defense token to get your accuracy.
Well, it's discard a defense token.
So maybe you've already spent them at that point. Yeah. So discard. So if you're at red defense tokens, but you can kill Howl Runner, but you need that accuracy, now you've got it. Or you might be attacking
a ship,
a Gazanti or something. You've got a red and a blue, and you need that red to be an accuracy. There's your accuracy, and there's your crits. I like him. He's going to be fun. And he still has his defensive abilities.
I still want a Millennium Falcon that is bomber because he did a face-up on the Death Star too. That's the Rebellion on the Rim squadrons that we know of so far. Now, I think that's probably all of them.
That's all of them. We went through all 8. So yeah, you definitely want to get at least 1 pack
of the Rogues and Villains.
Rogues and Villains come with 1 ship of each, so that'll cover you with the new heroes that are coming with Rebellion.
Does it actually give you? So
Rebellion and Rim does not give you the actual ships.
Right. Yeah.
Just like running Conflict, people got caught off guard. Yeah. It gives you the cards and it gives you the dials or the little roundels, but you got to get the actual pack.
Right.
Do it now before FFG screws up again and has nothing available. So.